Hello and welcome back to another bonus episode of Internal Rambles. This is your girl Rochelle, and we are reviewing a new show, a brand new series from the OWN network. This is Love and Marriage DC. It is a spinoff of the Love and Marriage Huntsville show that is, I think they're in like their fourth or fifth season. I love that show. This is a spinoff of that series, and so this show follows married African American successful entrepreneurs, couples. This show focuses more, it seems like, on those that are kind of in the entertainment, sports field, entrepreneur, whereas Love and Marriage Huntsville, the cast on that show, one of the cast members is a nurse, but she also dabbles in realty. One of the cast members is a lawyer and also dabbles in, or I can't say dabbles, but has like a financial consultant company. And then they all kind of have entrepreneurial things going on. And then also several of them are in the realty construction business. And one of the married couples, they actually have like their own wine and have like their own lounge. And then one of the newer married couples, I don't know what I think he kind of works with like children or something like that. And then the wife, it works in like the private sector or government or something like that. And then one of the ones who was married, but she's now divorced, she actually owns like, she's an entrepreneur. She owns like a hair store. I don't know if and I think she has hair products, but don't quote me on that. And so they're all, I mean, it's just very educated, prominent, professional, married, black families. And the show isn't about like people trying to like break in the entertainment industry or anything like that. It's kind of a different perspective on successful black married people. And these individuals on Love and Marriage Huntsville, like, they weren't necessarily in the public eye or notorious prior, so they weren't like singers or whatever previously. And so that, I think that's kind of nice too. So we have Love and Marriage DC, which premiered Saturday, May 14th, 2022 on the OWN network. The only cast member that I kind of sort of know is, I believe her name is Monique Samuels. And yes, and she was previously on The Real Housewives of Potomac with her husband, and his name is Chris Samuels. And so I believe and now don't quote me on this, I believe he was a retired football player, but she is definitely the star of the show just because she's kind of the familiar face that we know. So so I watched it. I initially was like not very excited. I wanted to have a new show to review because Married at First Sight is wrapping up. Next week is going to be the reunion, so I needed something new to review. This came right on time. But when I was looking at it, it really looked like I was watching The Housewives, and I don't watch any of the Housewives anymore. I liked that initially Love and Marriage Huntsville was a departure from that type of drama. Now they got a whole bunch of drama, child. But it still doesn't feel very housewivesy. It's definitely dramatic, But this, when I saw the preview of this show, Real Housewives, oh my goodness. Love and Marriage DC, it felt very housewifey, like they were already kind of digging at each other, the women, and it was just very dramatic. And the premise of Love and Marriage on OWN, I feel like was really trying to highlight kind of black love and success, and yeah, and I was just like, I didn't see, I saw the drama more so being highlighted in the preview. So that's my preconceived notion. But here we are. So I'm going to just kind of go through my initial impressions of the married couples and then kind of talk about some of what happened throughout the show as well, and we'll go from there. So this premiere episode obviously is the main thing is just to introduce the married couples, right? Talk about kind of where they are in their marriage and kind of also introduce us to how they all know each other, right? So like I said, Monique Samuel, she is the nucleus. She is the centerpiece. She is the star. She is the face of the show, right? Because she is the one that we know as an audience. But also, it seems like she is the nucleus of all the other couples and the women, and they all know her, and everyone kind of is at least friends with Monique. And some of them have really kind of known each other for many years. So that's nice. None of these, at least at first glance, seem like forced friendships, which I like as well on the Love and Marriage shows. So Monique and Chris, they've been married almost 10 years. And I don't know their history on Real Housewives of Potomac because I've only seen several seasons. I stopped watching Real Housewives of Potomac. So she mentioned in the show that she left, it seems like she left that show in a negative way. She's like, I have reality show PTSD. So I don't know what happened on that show, so I can't speak to it. I vaguely remember her on the seasons that I did watch on Real Housewives of Potomac, but I don't remember really. I remember seeing her and her husband, but that's really all I have. So they're coming up on their 10th year of marriage, and honestly, basically what it seems like is, it seems like they've really kind of hit like a rut. It does seem like they're kind of stuck. They seem like there are issues that they don't really know how to get over. They don't really, they speak very vaguely of what the issues are, but they have mentioned like, how are we going to continue? How are we going to make it? There's one couple that in this first premiere episode, they celebrate their 26th anniversary, and they're like, we need to talk to them. We need to know how they make it 26 years. And I guess one of the things that happens in this show is Chris, he started seeing like a life coach or something like that, and she ends up bringing Monique in to their sessions, which I feel like is very interesting because, as someone who's in like the mental health therapist field, I really life coaching, and I'm a therapist, but so I'm not very I could give a little spiel on what I think about life coaching, and it's not a negative thing. It's just, it's a very interesting field. But typically life coaching, if that is what she really was, I'm not really sure what type of coach she was, but it seems like that. I don't remember what they identified it. But usually it's very individualized. You really don't bring people into the life coaching. It's not couples counseling. It's not marriage counseling. It's really individualized to the person. So it's very interesting that the coach brought in any sort of coaching. Typically, if it's not already identified initially as a 2-person type of coaching, you don't typically bring in people unless it's identified early on that there will be like family sessions at some point or whatever. So I found that really interesting, but that's neither here nor there. So I guess there was an assignment where Chris was supposed to just make a list and just talk about kind of who he is, what his passions are. And I guess just my thought is it was supposed to probably be just a way for them to dig deeper and for Monique to be able to connect to Chris on a more deeper level. And I guess there was like a time frame that he was supposed to hand it in, and they had stopped meeting with the coach, but Monique's like, I still want this list. I still want to dig deeper. We need to deepen if we're going to make it, we need to deepen our connection. I really want to get to know you and know who you are, what really drives you. This is going to really help to deepen our marriage and continue to help us to grow. And a month later, he hadn't handed it in. And so she's like, this is what upsets me about you. You don't want to put in that, what it sounds like. And she mentioned this as well. You don't want to put that work into our marriage. And he's like, I didn't really know you wanted that list like this. I didn't know it meant that much to you. So, just kind of a really interesting dynamic, with them. It just seems like there's barriers somewhere and they are stuck. Monique seems to want more. Chris is like, I'm a good man. You got a good man. But I think, and this is just the first episode, and I think Monique makes a great point, is relationships are work. No matter if you've been together for 10 years, 10 days, 10 weeks, 30 years, you never stop watering that plant, nourishing that relationship. And I think that's where, and maybe, the challenge may be that work and nourishment to one partner is different than the other partner. So I don't know. This is the first episode. My own little perspectives, I don't know. So in the previews, they do show like them getting into it. Chris is like, she gets upset and then she shuts down. She doesn't want to talk, and then he's like, we might as well stop production. There ain't gonna be no more show. She won't even talk to me. So it does seem like Monique and Chris are having marital issues. Not to the point where like, oh my goodness, they about to get a divorce. But just like, they're having some struggles. So I hope that they are able to figure out and work through them and get it together, I hope. So that was my perspective on them. It's hard. It's initial, this is just the first thing. So it's just like, I'm just grasping at what I see, and we'll see what happens throughout this first season. The next couple, Irana and James. James is an entrepreneur. I guess he says that he has been doing like parties all over the US. So I don't know if he's like an event kind of celebrity party type of planner, but whatever type of party planning he's been doing, he's been successful at it. And Arana, so in this article that I'm reading, Arana, they say that she has like a clothing store. They also say that they have real estate as well, but they are the couple that in this episode, they were celebrating 26 years. So they've put in the work. And they have a son who I believe they call him Little Jamie. So there's a kind of a few moments in the show where they're like, I don't know if Little Jamie's going to show to the anniversary party, because James and Little Jamie, they pretty much have not seen eye to eye. They have a pretty estranged relationship, and Arana meets with him at the son at the car dealership, but she gets really emotional, and she's like, listen, you be out here doing what you want to do. I'm concerned about you. You've been involved in the wrong things. I don't want to get that knock at the door that something has happened to you, like you need to get your life straight. Your father cares for you, but it's just like, with you doing the wrong things and not listening to what we have to say, it's hard for your father. And I think that, she's like, we really want you at the anniversary party, etc., etc. So he does end up coming to the anniversary party, and he does talk to his father. And his father's like, listen, you've been smoking weed and hanging out and partying. He's like, I can't get down with that. I want the best for you. I love you. I would do anything for you, but I can't support when you're doing negative behaviors. And his son's like, I need to hear that. I need to hear that you love me. He's like, I thought that I had a handle on things, but I didn't. He's like, I'm not hanging around those other people anymore. He's like, I love you too. So they basically reconcile at the party. So that was really super sweet to see. And it was kind of funny because the other couples, they were like, we're going to have a Q&A at the anniversary party. We want to know how you all made it 26 years. And Arana's like, listen, we came here to party. We not trying to hold court and have a Q&A. This isn't an interview session, which I can understand because, I think if it was like a dinner, that would lend to more like conversation and talking. Like a party, you want to turn up, you want to hear your favorite songs, you want to drop down and get your eagle on. Am I showing my age a little bit? But you know what I'm saying, like that's not the time for a Q&A. But if they they have a dinner or whatever, that you can have, or like a get together at someone's home, their own home, then that conversation could be there. But they don't owe anything to anyone. They want to celebrate and have fun. So I'm glad that they kind of shut that down and didn't have that Q&A there. So the other couple is Ashley and Quick Silva. Quick is a DJ. And Ashley, she has a store and a fashion line, and I think she's trying to write a book. So the thing about them is, excuse me, Quick is a radio DJ, but I also think he does, I don't need to think, he does like events as well. And Ashley's like, I miss my husband. You work so much. He works during the day on the radio station, or at least, he works at the radio station, but then he also does events. So he's gone at night or part of the night as well. And she's like, I feel like I'm a single parent sometimes because I take care of the home, I take care of the kids, I do all of this other stuff. You're not present for the family, like the kid stuff, but then also you haven't really been here for like our marriage. I don't want our marriage to go by the wayside because you're working so much. And I think he mentions, and if it's not mentioned during the show, I think it's in maybe like the previews of the season, that he works so much, it's like an outlet for him. He calls it like his therapy. But at the end of the day, like there is such a thing as being addicted to working, and some people are workaholics. That's not healthy. But then also some people, it's kind of their, how do you say it? Like their escape from having to do and deal with things. And that's not healthy either. And so everyone always wants to find life balance. No one on earth has a perfect life balance, but you definitely don't want to miss pertinent years of your children's life, and also you don't want your marriage to be affected because you haven't been able to really put in that work, as I said, but be present and really have that engagement in the marriage because you're working all the time. Of course, you want to be able to financially support and have nice things for your family, but also you don't want to work so much that it's detrimental to your family. And one has to be mindful of that as well. So those are the married couples. And then there is this one woman who It's kind of interesting. She's interesting because she's not married. Um, well, I guess she was married, but she got a divorce. And then she had like an event where she's like, yeah, I was married to my husband and then he cheated with I think she said the nanny. And then he had a side baby, and it was like some like empowerment event that she was at, but she was just like putting down the tea, and it was just like, girl, you sure you're supposed to be like saying all this? Like it was kind of super weird, truth be told. But then she has been like remarried, but it's kind of like sketchy about her new husband. And I guess that's gonna play out during the show, but it's something really interesting about her. She mentioned like they didn't even like make it a year, and she got like some texts from him, and it was very like concerning, and then she didn't see him for 6 months. So it's just very, 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 very like, excuse me, say what? Her name is Winter. So her character, or not her character, but she's just very, I'm not sure. So I guess she's like an author who has written books. And she's like I think she's like a motivational speaker. And she was married for 21 years, and then her husband had like a side baby. But then she gets reportedly she gets married again, but then like that didn't even last a year. So I don't know. Her we need to know more about her. So yeah, so that was the first episode. I will continue to review it, and it's kind of hard too, like all these new people, I'm like trying to keep them straight, but it seemed like a pretty decent show. It didn't look horrible. Definitely gonna be some drama, some dramatization, and it's very interesting. I don't know. Here's the thing about, like I said, with Monique Samuels. I like Monique. I know there was drama with her on Real Housewives of Potomac, and if I think I know who she is, I think I know, but I don't know her from that drama. So I don't know what happened. She might have been like off the chain. I don't know. I didn't finish those seasons. I'm not up to date on Real Housewives of Potomac. So even though I know I have like a reference, like, oh, she was on a different reality show, I have no perspective. Like I have no preconceived notions about her, because I like I said, when I stopped watching, I think she was just starting to be on the show. So I don't have any preconceived notions about her. I like her so far. I really hope that one of the things I don't want to see, because like I said, I don't watch any of the Housewives, Atlanta, New York, Jersey. Topeka. There is no Topeka. I don't watch any of those for a reason. I just don't like it. To me, it's just forced drama. It's totally, it seems like for TV. It's team too much. How about that? I liked that these people were not necessarily like singers, actresses, whatever. Like they were normal people that really were self-made, they're educated, successful entrepreneurs. Like I like that. And so I just hope that the drama does not start to be the focus and we really can see people just being successful, minding their business, like not doing things where you like, okay, they trying to get some ratings here. Like I don't want to see folks cutting up and acting a fool. So that is the first episode, the recap of, again, Love and Marriage DC from OWN Network. Thank you for listening. I hope this wasn't too all over the place. It feels, I mean, this is a new show. I'm trying to figure them out like you probably are. So that's that. Thank you for listening. Listen, check out, if you watch Married at First Sight, check out my previous episode, Decision Day, and my thoughts on Decision Day. Check out my previous content if you have a moment, and you can catch me wherever you get podcasts, whether it is Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Amazon, Spotify, and as I recently announced, you can also listen to me on YouTube. Just search on YouTube for Internal Rambles and your girl will pop up. And I'm going to be releasing I will start releasing these reviews on YouTube too. So pretty much most of my content will probably release on YouTube now. That's probably going to be the goal. And until next episode, take care of yourself. Listen, stay safe. If you pray, if you have a higher power, stay prayed up. Take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of each other. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for every listen and for everything. Talk to you soon.